more these seeds are going to be adapted to our, you guys know Flagstaff, microclimates all over the place, right? I mean, nobody's really the same, even next door. I mean, I'm 5 degrees more or cooler than my neighbor a mile away that grows the same kind of vegetables I'm growing. So we can make these local adapted things, and my husband, he's an engineer. Love him to death, but it's so great to have another engineer. Welcome, welcome. So it's so good because he makes me all these great databases. So I have these great databases where we can keep track of where all these seeds are going and what they're growing in these microclimates. Also, it's affordable. You know, you pay, I mean, the CSA is a great thing, and they're my great friends. But if you just decide, I want a tomato plant and I want 50 of them, you go to the store and you're spending about $4 or $5 each plant. Well, we're eliminating that cost by having a free place to get seeds, so you're not spending $4, $5 a plant.
What is the CSA?
The CSA, so we announced, Star announced it earlier, it's the Community Supported Agriculture of Garden Starts. So CSA stands for that, but the Garden Start program is through Terraverse, and you can actually get your vegetables grown at the NAU greenhouses, and then you pick up a share of the different vegetables when it's time to plant. So it's a great program, and I have used it in the past.
We saw their building over on Beaver. Is that the one on Beaver?
No, that's the regular CSA where you get a box.
That's food.
That's food versus the Garden Starts.
Oh.
Garden Starts is a different.
Yeah, this
organization.
is Garden Starts.
So seedlings.
You
You get seeds as your seedling.
What do you mean by pure seeds?
Oh yeah, I'll get to that. So the other thing is it's a transmission of stories. For me, I wanted a place, and I know most of us do, where we can pool knowledge, that we can go and we can talk about things, and we can tell the stories of the seeds and tell the stories of our gardening experiences. So the seed library has become that, where people say, and I get these seeds that come in and say, these were squash seeds that from a Hubbard squash, big football-shaped ones, and some of you maybe already heard this my presentation before, but these ones were found by an older gentleman farmer who, an old farmer that he found them in a cave in a pot, and he's been using it for 80 years. And now these seeds are in the library, and we're growing them, and they're so well adapted to Flagstaff. I throw them in the ground. You know, I mean, how many of you would love to find a thing you just throw in the ground and let it do its thing? You know, dry farm. This is what these can do. Same with some beans. I have these really cool variety of beans that people have given that, you know, some of them are from a welfare farm in Joni Park that was there for 50, 60 years. And then there's also growers from other locations that have sent us their heirloom cool seeds. And more stories. And so my thing is the stories of the seeds. And when I say pure seeds, so we only look at the Grow Flagstaff Library, we only have seeds that are pure strains. Now when I say pure, that's encompassing open pollinated and heirloom, and that's taking all of those in and saying that they're true to parents. So pure, I mean true to parents. If you get a hybrid seed, it's an F1 generation. It's not necessarily all true to its parent. It could come out with multiple things. There's a lot of genetic diversity in that, and it's not stable. It's not a stable strain. Pure seeds are stable. They're going to be like their parent. Now, heirloom seeds can be open pollinated seeds, but not all open pollinated seeds are heirloom. That's because when they're open pollinated, they're allowed to what?
Get other pollen.
Right, so they can cross. But that adds adaptation and can add robustness. So we don't exclude anything that could be pure and just open pollinated. So we use both terms for things. And as far as GMO goes, that just means that it's genetically modified, which is different from hybridized, right? So, but that genetically modified are hybridized. Doesn't mean that they're sterile. A lot of people think, well, GMO means that they're sterile. It doesn't. It means that is a patent gene, and if you go on to sell or do anything else with that plant where you could potentially make money, you could get a serious lawsuit. So that's all I'll really say about that. Usually I try to stay out of that controversial stuff with the GMO, but it's good to know the terms.
We'll ask you the hard questions later.
If there's time. The other thing is we say the seed library helps preserve diversity, and I'll get to this slide, but maybe I'll say it right now. In 1903, there were so many different varieties of fruits and vegetables. There were so many different agricultural varieties out there. Now, they're estimating, and I think it came out in 2011, that we only have 4% of that diversity. And all of those local type seeds that do well in their different adaptations in a local scale are gone. because we have these big companies, big corporations that have just given seeds to agriculture, right? And said, this is what you will grow under our contracts. So we've lost, and plus people, before that even happened, it was going to the point where people would say, this is what you'll grow because you work for us, or they would say that this is what is available and only this. And then it goes faster. And so you have a lot like wheat. Wheat's a great example. I mean, everyone wanted the short strain wheat. They wanted to grow fast. That's what they grew. They got rid of all of those old ancient heirloom grains. And because those took longer. So they had to compete. And you know what, I'm not blaming a farmer in the breadbasket at all, because they had to compete financially, and so they would go for these different strains that were available and were a competitive one that could get out in the market in time.
A slight segue from that, but heirloom wheat that came from Montana, how long do you think those seeds could be viable?
We'll talk about viability of seeds,
Okay.
but if you keep them, how I'll show you how to store them in perpetuity.
Well, they have moved on.
Oh, you don't have them. You mean things that you've seen in the past or things you had?
Oh, they were from my grandfather.
Oh, I wish my husband would have loved if you had them. That's his thing. Is he has a great presentation on ancient bread baking and using ancient grains.
Yeah.
But
But they were
developing
sent on to
a seed bank.
Yeah.
And was it the one in Idaho? He could tell you better than I could, but there's a couple of them where they've
Or
grown them out.
Midwest.
What's that?
Midwest, someplace.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
don't know.
in Montana, they're actually trying to, they've crossed wheat, a specific kind of wheat. I want to say it's actually emmer. They crossed it with the perennial grasses, and they're now trying to grow perennial wheat, because, you know, we're talking roots that are 3 meters long, still feeding people, but not denuding the soils like a lot of these monoculture farming.
Cool.
So how it works, that's the big question people are like, well, how can I get seeds? You walk in, you fill out a free membership form. It's free, but you fill out a membership form. There'll be a notebook, this notebook, right here on this table, and there are forms in there. And it's just simple information on how to get a hold of you, what your name is. We want to kind of know your gardening experience, just so that we know, if you need more information to be able to save seeds. But no experience is required. You're going to fill that out, then you're going to go and choose. Oops, wrong direction. Choose the seeds that you're interested in, and every visit you can take 5 packets every time you come in. Then you're going to go back in that same folder, and there's a section that says not donation. There's a place there to say what you took. And you write down what you took, the varieties, make sure you're specific on your varieties, and then that will go into the database so that we know what to refill. And it'll be under your name. That's all in the honor system. There is an office manager there, and she's really good about body check. She doesn't really body check people, but I see she's my bulldog, man. And, she's really great that she tells people what they need to do. So if you've walked in and you're like, I can't remember what Jackie said I was supposed to do, she'll help you walk through it. She'll walk you through it. And she's really great about showing you what you need and where it is. And then you can give her your personal information. So it's not just laying around on the desk. You can give her your membership form. And she'll keep an eye on everyone, but she doesn't really call anyone to judgment if they take more than they're supposed to.
Is that the Huber squash by any chance?
No, that's actually Goliath's pumpkin.
Oh.
And these are edible nasturtium flowers. I grow a lot of edible flowers. They're really good dried and used as substitution as pepper. But you can actually eat the leaves and the flowers and everything. And then you can actually let them go to seed and use the seeds and pickle them as capers. They were nice capers too. I like a lot of edibles. We actually grow over 220 different varieties of edibles at our house, so we like doing a lot of different things. But about the seed library, we have now over 120 different varieties. So since we just started in November, that's pretty good. We've had a lot of great donations, and then my husband and I saved a lot too, hoping to get something like this to put him in. This is my husband. Since he can't be here, I put him in. Don't eat rhubarb leaves, they're poisonous. But he thinks he's funny.
You grow those from seed?
No, actually a friend, I bummed up a root from a friend, and within 2 years that thing, you could see it behind him, and the thing is bigger than me.
Yeah.
And my kids, both of us.
Yeah.
What part of town do you live in?
Dewey Park. I live in a really cold, swell between two hills and mountains right up against the forest. So I'm actually in a very cold steep, so when people say, oh, you're in Donny Park, you can grow anything. No, I'm in a pretty cold place, but I will tell you I have great soil, considering I had a lot of rocks.
Coach Field up in the hill?
No, so I'm off of Slayton Ranch.
Oh,
that area.
because
There's
there's
North End.
So
There's
that might
another
be
place
more-
that has a valley, used to be horse
Right.
pastures. Beautiful.
Beautiful
place.
soils, yeah, I know what you're
Cold.
talking about. It is, yeah, it's cold there.
So that might be more similar to where we're at out in Fort Valley.
You're in Fort
Pretty
Valley?
cold.
Good soil though.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, and I actually have friends that grow some amazing blueberry plants in the ground. And blueberries only like acidic soil, so it's not too bad there too. You get A through Z, you go and say, I want carrots. You go to C, and you go to the beginning of the C's because CA, right? So you're going to pull out and you're going to see what carrots are available. Then it's all by common name. I want a Coeur d'Alene carrot. It's right there under K, you know, it's back behind a couple, and there it is. So that is easy to find. The other thing is there is a green on the dividers. There's a green sticker or there's a red sticker. Doesn't mean that they're hard to grow. It means they're harder to save. And all that green, the green are easier because you're just going to take like the beans or things, and I'll talk about those. You can just take them right off the vine when they're dry. The redder just means that they can cross-pollinate, really, is all it means. So the squash, your cucurbits, brassicas, they're all on there saying because they can potentially cross. You can get a Brussels sprout with a broccoli in it. You know, you can get those kind of things. So the only thing, and I don't want to dissuade anyone from taking the red labels, but just so you know, to keep them separate. You know, when you have one melon, put one in one garden and then move another melon in a different garden area or something like that. Or just take one kind if you have just a small plot. You know, just work on one kind so that you can return those seeds so they're true to parent. There's further information. If you notice, actually there's a picture on top of the shelves are some books you can sit there and look at how to save seeds, how to start seeds. There are books per variety or per, it's kind of by per species mostly. There's also a divider there with some little topics. As we get articles and things, we shove them in there so people can sit there and peruse and look through things. I also failed to mention, when you walk into the extension office, you also should sign in because it's great that they get all this foot traffic. It helps the extension office show to U of A that they are a viable thing and something that the community uses. So we always sign in just so that they know that that's an important building to our community.
Well, speaking of roots there, you don't do like rhubarb cuttings or whatever, tubers or whatever?
We haven't yet. We talked about it. I think we're waiting to see how it goes with just the seeds.
Oh, okay.
But we do have, I don't know if you heard us, we do have flowers too. It's not just vegetables, but we do a lot of pollinators too. So
Okay.
about 3/4 of it are flowers.
Okay.